They say some wells never stop whispering, and some secrets demand a sacrifice. Cut to quick flashes, the old well glowing faintly, a shadowy figure rising, Maya's frightened face, ritual symbols glowing in the dark. Maya thought she could escape the curse, but the darkness wants her. The ancient evil waits to be freed, and the price? Everything she is, every memory, every part of her soul. This is the final stand, the Keeper's last sacrifice. Whispers from the well, the final chapter. Will you listen or run?
There are places lost to time, forgotten by maps, erased from memory. Places where the air itself feels heavier, thicker, as if holding on to every whispered secret and scream. In the heart of the Appalachian Mountains lies Briar Glen, a village that vanished overnight. But not by chance. Something older, darker, devoured it. And at its center stands a well, deep, cold, and hungry. This is the story of the well's curse, and the whispers that still call from its depths. Emily Rhodes was a young folklore student driven by curiosity and a hunger for truth. When she discovered the blog post about Briar Glen, she felt an irresistible pull. Local legends called it a ghost town, but no one knew why it disappeared. Her research revealed one chilling detail. The villagers spoke in hushed tones of a well that demanded sacrifices, not of blood, but of memory and soul. Emily arrived at the edge of the forest as the sun dipped below the mountains, casting long shadows across the broken roads and collapsed homes. The silence was suffocating. That night, Emily was pulled from sleep by a soft humming, barely audible, like a lullaby carried on the wind. She followed the sound to the village square where the well stood, half swallowed by moss and ivy. The stones felt cold to her touch, and when she leaned over, she heard something beneath the surface, a voice whispering her name. The next morning, Emily wrote frantically in her journal, "The well doesn't want water, it wants memories. Every whisper feels like a thread pulling at my mind. It's exhausting, but I can't leave. It's as if the forest itself is holding me here." Later, she lowered a camera into the well using a rope. The footage was horrifying. Deep in the darkness, bones were piled high, children's bones, and moving among them, something shadowy slithered. It paused and looked directly into the lens. Emily's second night was worse. She awoke to the church bell ringing, even though the bell tower had collapsed decades ago. Outside her tent, whispers echoed, "Stay, stay, stay." She felt a presence. At 3:33 a.m., Emily's final recording captured chilling audio. "If you find this, don't come here. The well is alive. It feeds on grief, on love, on memory itself. The cult who lived here, they thought they could control it. They were wrong. It's never satisfied. It's hungry for more. I'm forgetting my name, my life. If I vanish, remember me. Not as I am now, but as I was." Static overtook the recording. Days later, search teams found no trace of Emily. Only her equipment remained near the well, still humming, still waiting. Briar Glen and its cursed well still linger in the dark heart of the Appalachians. Some say if you listen carefully on a cold night, you can hear the lullaby humming on the wind, calling lost souls into the darkness, forever. Weeks after Emily's disappearance, a specialized search team arrived, led by a local historian named David Harper, whose great-grandfather was one of the original cult members from Briar Glen. Unlike the previous rescuers, David came prepared, with ancient texts, protective charms, and a burning desire to uncover the truth. As the team set up camp near the well, David recited a warning from one of the cult's journals. "The well is a mouth that speaks only in sorrow. Speak to it in lies, and it will swallow your soul." That night, strange things began happening. The well's lullaby returned, this time louder, more insistent. Shadows detached from the trees, creeping towards the campfire. David and the team tried to ignore it, but one by one, members began to see visions. Faces of lost children, long-dead villagers, and the woman with empty eyes. David's protective charms flickered and failed as the well demanded a sacrifice. One team member, a young woman named Sarah, vanished without a sound. Her last scream was caught on a recorder, echoing through the valley. David realized the only way to end the curse was to perform the ancient ritual the cult had abandoned centuries ago, offering a gift that could satisfy the well's hunger. He prepared a symbolic offering, a locket containing a memory of his lost daughter. As he lowered the locket into the well, the ground trembled and the whispers grew deafening. Suddenly the well's surface bubbled violently, and the entire village seemed to shudder awake, revealing faint ghostly figures trapped in eternal torment. David spoke aloud the ritual's closing words, pleading for mercy. "Take my pain, take my grief, but let the innocent go free." The well's humming slowly faded, and the shadows retreated into the darkness. Sarah reappeared, shaken but alive. David, however, disappeared, his body never found, his sacrifice believed to have sealed the well's hunger. For now, the curse of Briar Glen was never truly broken. The well still waits in silence, deeper than any eye can see. It remembers. It waits for the next visitor, the next soul to whisper its secrets into the darkness. If you ever hear a lullaby carried on the wind near those mountains, don't listen, don't look, just run. Because some wells don't thirst for water, they thirst for you. Months after David's disappearance, a package arrived at a small historical society in Kentucky. Inside was a weathered leather-bound journal and a letter addressed to Emily Rhodes. The letter was signed simply, "The Keeper." It read, "You don't understand the well's true nature. It is not a curse, it is a prison, and it needs a keeper." The journal belonged to a man named Elias Monroe, the last surviving cult member. It revealed a truth far darker than anyone imagined. Elias wrote that the well was a gateway, not just to an entity of hunger, but a prison for something far worse, an ancient evil called the Harrowed One. The cult originally formed to guard the well and prevent the Harrowed One from escaping. Each sacrifice was meant to feed and distract the creature, keeping it bound. But as the cult died out, so did their vigilance. The well began to call out louder, trying to free the darkness beneath. In the journal, Emily's last handwritten entry was found. "I don't know if I'm the chosen keeper or the next sacrifice. The well whispers more than pain. It whispers power, and I fear answering its call will change everything." Suddenly, a chilling question hangs in the air. Is the well's hunger a curse or a responsibility? To contain the darkness, one must stay, become the keeper. But to do so means losing oneself. Trapped between worlds, guarding the prison forever. Emily vanished, but some believe she took the keeper's mantle. Some say, if you wander Briar Glen at twilight, you can hear a woman singing the lullaby, watching, waiting, guarding. The well is patient. It waits for the next keeper. And maybe it's already chosen you. In 1996, a young woman named Maya Ellis received an unexpected inheritance. A small, crumbling cabin near the abandoned Briar Glen village, left to her by a relative she never knew existed. Drawn by curiosity and a need to understand her family's strange past, Maya traveled to the remote cabin deep in the Appalachian woods. Exploring the property, Maya stumbled upon the old village ruins, and of course the well. At first she felt nothing but cold stone and silence. But then, as twilight fell, a faint humming began, soft, inviting, hypnotic. Over days, Maya's dreams were haunted by the faceless woman and the voices of those lost. She began losing time, forgetting details of her own life. Strange symbols appeared carved into the cabin walls, symbols she had never seen but somehow knew. Her research revealed the truth. Her bloodline was tied to the cult and the well's keeper. Faced with a terrifying choice, Maya could try to escape the curse, risking the well's release, or accept her role as the new keeper, guarding the prison between worlds. The whispers grew louder, promising power and freedom. The well waits. The keeper watches, and somewhere, deep in the Appalachian woods, a new chapter begins. Days turned to nights, and Maya felt the well's grip tightening. Memories she once cherished faded, replaced by haunting images of the faceless woman and anguished whispers from the well's depths. Her reflection warped in mirrors. The shadows in her cabin seemed to move on their own. She discovered old cult relics buried beneath her floorboards. A shattered mirror, a bloodied ritual knife, and a faded photograph of Elias Monroe, the original keeper. One stormy night, the lullaby crescendoed into a deafening roar. Maya was pulled toward the well by an unseen force. At the bottom of the well, the prison cracked. The harrowed one emerged, a grotesque, shadowy entity, eyes burning with hunger. Maya, trembling but resolute, confronted the creature. She realized that the only way to save herself and the village was to sacrifice her own memories, her identity, to seal the prison once again. With a heavy heart, Maya performed the ritual, chanting the ancient words from Elias's journal. As she spoke, her memories began to unravel. Faces, places, moments slipping away like sand through fingers. The well's surface glowed, the harrowed one screamed, and then silence. Maya awoke to dawn's light, her mind a blank slate. The well was quiet once more, sealed and sleeping. But deep inside, a new keeper stirred, silent, watching, waiting. And the whispers? They never truly end. The earth trembled beneath Maya's feet. The well's ancient seal cracked, fissures glowing with unnatural light. From the depths rose the harrowed one, a twisted nightmare of shadows and screams, hunger blazing in its eyes. The creature towered over her, its voice a chorus of lost souls demanding freedom. Maya's blood ran cold, but she stood firm. This was her fight, the fight to save the village, the well, and herself.